That like button. Angel, Rockin' XRP, Michael, Tanya, Mo, JW, Wigbuster, John Hall, CJ2 Pilot. Thank you all so much for tuning in. 22 people here before it even started. That's crazy. Please make sure that like button, whether you're here during the live or after it becomes available when it ends, it does help push us through the algorithm and allows more people to reach this beautiful audience. As we always have a good time. Let me timestamp this very quickly, and then we'll get into this a little bit deeper. So good evening, 6:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, November 9th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So as we can see, XRP's had a heck of a drop-off, but it hasn't lost the rising channel support. It actually came back down today and retested it for the first time. We can see Ethereum's up 11.7%, and Ethereum Classic's up 10.5% today. So it's amazing how if you're tied in and you're well respected by the Securities and Exchange Commission, how you can just kind of take off in the eyes of adversity. You would think Ethereum would be the last place, but as we know, when the government's got a stronghold on something, they tend to push into their own holdings. Matt, good evening. Call of Aldebaran, welcome in. Angela, welcome. So glad to see you all in here. Mickey's Kick Reviews, welcome in. Mark Caston, good evening. Devin, welcome in. As always. David Kennedy, good evening. Joseph Enrique, welcome in. So XRP, even though we did have a nice little fall, we lost about 1.6 billion on the market cap. When we talked yesterday, we talked if it went into a long leg doji possibly, because it was showing a little bit of signs, and then it started pulling up early. But now it's come all the way back down, and it touched the 633 area. That is the rising channel support, which was resistance from back on June of 2022. Joshua, welcome in. The Stranger, good evening. Sam, good to see you as well, my friend. Rockin' Painter, glad to see you in here today. ATK 777's in the house. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tanya Love, welcome in. Tanya Nuddle is in here as well, my birthday sister. Our birthday's coming up on December 17th. We're 1 year apart. I am older, but not necessarily wiser. Crypto Greek, welcome in. NWV Tim, welcome. KLC, good evening. Hasi, good evening. Eddie, Terry, welcome in. Disco, David Kennedy, I'm seeing a big cut pattern forming. You sure are. You sure are. And if you look at this pattern, we'll get into it a little deeper and also look at it in comparison with Ethereum as well. Walter, welcome in. He says hi to Tom's Army. I appreciate you tuning in. Market manipulation at its finest, Richard. You are 100% correct on that. Aussie, welcome in. Gerardo. Wow, there's a lot of people in here today. James Montgomery, good evening. Juan, welcome in. Robbie Sosa, I'm so thrilled to see you in here as well. I'm so glad to see everybody in here. Even on a day where it was less than stellar for XRP, I'm so glad to see so many who are still passionate about it. Veronica, welcome in and good evening. We have 81 people viewing, only 36 likes. Please hit that like button. That will so tremendously help push this beautiful community to more people, and we'll be able to have a more active discussion here. Mo, yes, hit that like button. As Mo said, I completely agree with that, and thank you very much. So, True, good evening. Angel T, welcome in. Rob, good afternoon. Donald, welcome in. One for Jesus, good evening. Amen to that. Yes, indeed, always straight. So, with XRP, real quickly, now that I got to say hi to everybody. I love saying hi to everybody. It makes my day. So, XRP, we never retested the rising channel breakout. Now, we did come all the way up to that 736, and then we broke down. Now, I deleted the intermittent lines because now we know what we're dealing with. John London, welcome in, and that 2-year badge is looking sharp on you, my friend. I really appreciate that continued support. Rough day for XRP, but showed a lot of strength. Juan, it sure did. The fact we didn't give up the rising channel support yet, and we're trying to make this a new support, this is what's going to either allow us to, let's just say, climb our way out of this, or on the next daily candle in 23 minutes, we could see it start to break down. And then if we lose 633, we know we have some more consolidation to go. So really, like I've said, I did not want to come all the way to 633 just because it makes it to where now you've got that shot. If you come through, it could be a problem. But as we've seen around the market, you very rarely, if ever, don't retest breakout points. Now, the problem is if we lose 633, I'm going to be very, very transparent. we had an earlier signal that might have gotten lost. And this is not necessarily a bullish signal if we have to go back here, but it's a signal nonetheless that it's been given to us. And if it does break 633, we'll talk about the not so great signal we've seen, and then we'll talk about the more bullish of signals that we are witnessing in front of us. So the not so bullish scenario and the bearish signal that we were received back when we broke out from around the 52 to 55 cent mark, we never came back and filled that gap. So the fact we never filled that gap, it could be a signal, it should be a signal that in future times at some point, we're going to have to fill that gap in. Now, I don't necessarily see that as a problem right now, unless we lose that 633 support and use it as a resistance and fall into that rising channel. Then I think it's pretty clear that it is in fact coming down to fill that gap. And you can't see it on the Heikin-Ashi, but it was back around. It came up, it never satisfied in this area. I might have even been a little bit farther back. It's going to be harder to see, but we need to come back in the pattern. That was a signal we were given before, but it ran right past it. We never consolidated back down to verify the move out, which is why it was so important for us to at least retest this 633 at first. If it comes through here, though, it opens up a series of doors. If you lose 633, where you may well need to come back into this 57, 55 area, maybe even come back down to a lower pattern part or a lower part of the formation. We came through, we rounded down, bounced up into here, came down. But when we came up here, we did do my whole thing in this area, when we came through, we filled gaps, because the way I look at it is, it's a machine learning, it's machine trading. So what ended up happening is right in this area is my concern. So when we came down, we bounced up. Now we're coming back through, but from the bounce down to the bounce all the way up to here, we didn't have anything in this range. Nothing. We never had a pull up, come down, refill it out, pull up, fill it out. So we didn't really have that bullish handle. So what I'm seeing is, what if it comes down like this and we have to deal with that, and maybe it comes and retests that area. Now, some will say, well, Tom, we don't know what the hell you're talking about. You have the Heikin-Ashi on, the Heikin-Ashi. Granted. So I'll turn off the Heikin-Ashi for 1 minute, and we'll go into a particular time frame here. Now, it's harder to see in the dailies, and you can pull it down if you want to in the minute, but I'm not going to waste all of our time by doing a whole lot of, hey, we need to go all the way back here and we need to check this out. But it's definitely there, and it's going to take a minute to get all the way back here. In the 1 minute, you can only see 5,000 bars. Is that for real? I don't know what the fuck that was. Any way to nickel and dime you now, right? So, I mean, you can see even in this entirety of this area we came through, we never retested back down. We started to right here, but even from this entirety in here, there's nothing that came back through. I don't really see a lot of backtracking in here, but that's for another time. I just want you to understand back in the pattern that technically there's some gaps that need to be filled, and that's why this M-topping reversal, if it plays out, it'll bring you right back into that gap area. So that's what we need to pay attention to if that's what it's trying to signal to us. And we will, let me turn this back on to Heikin-Ashi. I hate regular candles. It leaves so much to be desired, in my opinion. But we'll know right now, first layer, we're really coming to right now. The 20-day here in the 30-minute, but coming up here with the death cross and getting rejected at 673, that would be an overtly big signal that there could be a problem here, and that this Batman top M-topping reversal is starting to roll back down. But as of right now, I don't want you guys to get caught in the bearish tendency. I just want you to understand that it's out here. Now, this is nice that we see a long leg doji in the 2-hourly right as we're coming into the daily close. So it could mean that we're going to be off to a hot start to come. Now, if we start pulling it from the short time frame and pull it out a little bit farther, 4-hourly is trying to pull back up. The daily time frame is not as overly bearish as it looked earlier. It's still red, and we're not going to be able to, I hate to break it to everybody, in the next 18 minutes, we're not going to be able to turn this green. It's just not going to happen. The only way to turn this green is to retake, at least get back above 68.20. I just don't see it us getting back on top of 68 cents before the close. So what's going to happen is you're going to start out a little bearish, probably down in that 66.40 range. But right now, we're at least holding the 633, which is that rising channel support. And I think it's actually a good show of support here if we can hold it. It's just we have to be overly... we don't want to be desensitized to the fact that we could come back down and fill some gaps. I don't sugarcoat it, or I don't lie in here. I tell you the truth. I don't sugarcoat it, I should say, even if it makes me unpopular. I'll tell you exactly what's going on. And right now, for anybody who's new, I do hold XRP. I sold out in 21 after making several 100%, 47, sold at $1.66. And our goal was to buy back at the 2020 uptrend that was established. We did just that. We have a 346 average now. So we're doing very well with our position in 23. It's just there's a lot of influences that are guaranteeing we're going to be at 5, 10, 15 bucks. You got things like this that I'll read because it ties into what I'm trying to say. So here's something else that if you're watching right now, you get stuff like this and you're like, well, hey, XRP is going to $2 by the end of the year. So this is what was being printed a lot today. Ripple XRP forecasted to reach a yearly high of $2. Ripple's native token XRP is hovering around the 70-cent mark and is up close to 4%. So again, they did this before. So they tried to pull on the heartstrings of some that are watching us in a bullish formation. So then they try to say $2 without even considering the fact we have a 7-year trend, a pattern formation. We would have to break 85 cents. So year end should be saying 85-cent possibility, not $2. First of all, that's something I don't like. But with their chart, they're saying Ripple's native token is performing well in the indices. With its price climb above the $1 mark, or will its price climb above the $1 mark and hit $2 next? In this article, we'll highlight a price prediction on XRP might reach the $2 milestone. But when you listen to what they say, just listen. Leading on-chain metrics and price prediction firm Coin Codex has painted a rosy picture for Ripple's native token. According to the price prediction, XRP could reach close to $2 sometimes next year in 2024. The forecast estimate that XRP might reach a yearly high of $1.95 in 24 and fall short by 5 cents. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The forecast took into consideration that leading global banks are now using Ripple's fintech for remittance. Just recently, HSBC launched a digital asset custody with the Ripple-owned firm. HSBC follows on the heels of JP Morgan, which also debuted its first collateral settlement using blockchain technology last month. Therefore, the forecast estimates... Look at, this is what I always hate about the estimates. Ready? They give a yearly estimate here of 47 cent low in 24 with a high of 195. Now, all of a sudden in 25, after going to a yearly high of $1.95, now we're going to go back to 65 cents. In 25 with a yearly high of $1.51. I speculate that end of 25 should be much more volatile to the upside than 24. So I'm not sure how you get these numbers that compound on each other like this. Then in 26, when it's even more adopted by their own saying in 24, by 26 you should be well more adopted. How are we coming back to 57 cents in 26 and only a high of 76? That makes no fucking sense. Excuse me. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Just this whole, and I seen people talking about this projection on YouTube today. And I don't watch a lot of people, but I at least have to get the public narrative. And this was one I kept seeing, and it blows my friggin' mind. At press time, Ripple's native token was trading at 70. We know it's 66.5 cents. And it's 83% off its all-time high. So consider this. When everybody says 21 was a full-out bull market, which I disagree vehemently, and I say, and I will go through this like I always do when I make this point. So if you're new, this is something, listen, only 79 likes, ladies and gentlemen. I don't charge for this. You can always send a YouTube super chat. You can always share this far and wide on social media. But I beg you to find one person who puts out all this information for free, shares their portfolio for free, and we're up as much as we are over the last 3 years for free, and showing you how to buy precious metals with the profits for free. I think I deserve that like, and I don't want to feel insulted while I do this. We have a beautiful audience here, and as much as I take my time here, you need to take a moment out of your time and hit that like button so we continue pushing this beautiful community. Wow, Randad, thank you so much. 22 months as part of Tom's Army. That is incredibly awesome. That is incredibly awesome. And thank you so much for the $49.99 donation. You completely caught me off guard. That's an incredibly generous donation. I don't even know what to say about that. Thank you so much for that. Seriously. And OMC in month 1 of Tom's Army just joined. Holy smokes. Thank you so much for that. I know you're in month 1 because that's me being abducted by aliens in month 1. My face is superimposed. That's right. Someone I met on social media, she made that for me in person. Well, not in person, but she made it for me personally for my channel. Sam, Tom, you are not underappreciated. Thank you so much for the $19.99 donation. I know I don't feel like I'm underappreciated. I was just saying I think if we put in the same effort and the likes as we do in the community, we can reach a farther audience. That's one way to push us through. We're at 95 likes. 50 people haven't hit the like button, but I will try to earn that throughout the rest of this. So if this doesn't earn your like, I don't know what will. So the reason why it's so important to me with XRP, this 2020 uptrend, let me go back just a little farther in the pattern. No, you said it right. I can't even do the public narrative right now because it's so full of... Yeah, I'm going to finish reading that. True, it's unbelievable what's going on right now. So, do the public narrative right now because it's so full of foolishness. No offense to anyone in here, as I know y'all not going for it either. Exactly true. It's becoming a hard thing to watch now. It's becoming hard. So, with XRP, just pay attention to this. This is why this formation's so important. So this started in 2018, January, all-time highs. And this is why I think it was a mini bull run, or a mini bear market rally, not a bull run for XRP in 21. So in 2018 in January, we came all the way up to $3.40, $3.30, depending on what exchange. We come all the way back through. We garner a new support down here in March of 2020. So now we're converging. Now we have the lawsuit in December 2020, right here where this arrow's at. Price goes all the way to 12 cents. Now we have a parabolic spike back up, and we go up 1,800%. Well, all we really did, rejection here in 2018 in January, rejection here in April of 21, we just confirmed we had a bear market rally, and that was it. That's how we knew. Once this happened and got both confirmations on the uptrend from 2020, we set our buy-in is sub 40 cents at the 2020 uptrend. I targeted that for a year and a half. And now we hit that 2020 uptrend and it's still being shown as support. So until that breaks, that's your overriding pattern. And the reason why I continue to say this is nothing more than a bear market rally again is until we break 85 cents and push out, there's nothing to this. This is just reconverging in a pattern formation that's been going on for 7 years. Yes, you get less volatile moves in between, but that's the truth of this pattern. For anybody acting like we're in a bull market, for anybody acting like we've done something special, yes, we broke out of the 2022 rising channel, but is that as far back as 2018 in January? No, it's not. Even the uptrending part of it is back in 2020. That circumvents by 2 years the rising channel. Then we had a bunch of people telling us we're on a bear flag, which we weren't. So then I kept that on there to put inside of the all-time pattern and then showed everybody the truth. The short term was the rising channel from June of 22. We were in a bull flag. This was out here before the move even happened. This is how we knew. So now we break up from here and now we push over the rising channel resistance. Well, now you don't have to worry about the 2020 or the 2017 pattern yet. You need to wait until you confirm this, and then if you break out, now 85 cents is on the table. It's on the table. So much nonsense, I agree. Stay real, Tom. There is a lot. Let's see. I need to read some of the comments. So Humble says you did this on Zach Rector's live stream the other night. I remember you. Don't bring your BS here. Oh yeah. Don't worry. I don't mind Colin. Colin can he can speak his own truth, but you know, I always find it funny when someone comes in and trolls when they don't know what they're talking about with our particular community. You might be speaking facts, my friend, on other communities, but the bottom line is we're up over 90% on XRP in 2023, and our entire portfolio is up almost 110%. And I'm not talking $100. You know, there's probably close to, between everything, we turned about $5,500 into over 13 grand right now. So, I mean, you can spew it however you want. I share it transparently every single time we buy. So, I mean, the only FUD being spoke here is others that come in from other communities, but that doesn't bother me anymore. So, that's all I'll say to that. I like when people come in to try to stir the pot. because, you know, some will come in here and then when they leave, they have their tails between their legs because they're like, holy shit, wait a minute, they're making this much money. Jantra, thank you so much for re-upping in Tom's Army. Greatly appreciate that, and you've been in it for well over a year. I thank you so much. And I know that because you have the I told you so badge, which you get at 1 year. How high do you think it will go? So Dutch, right now, we have to see. Right now, our ceiling is going to be 85 cents until we can break out of that 7-year pattern. If we can break out of it, then we can start pushing out. We need to break over that 85 cents, which is the pattern formation. Then we can start talking about $1.13, that area, and even 91 cents. But right now, 85 cents until we break. It's the ceiling, and it's been set in stone since 2020 or 2017. This signal's been here since 2020, so we already know the overt signal. Bye, Scarlett. Bye, Mimi.
Bye.
Scarlett, I'll see you tomorrow after school. Okay. So that's what we're looking at here. And this pattern, we already have this signal. I know it doesn't seem like it. I know it doesn't seem like it. The chart's already telling us what's happening. And hell, I'm going to get rid of all of these because this is the all-time chart. I've got the mumbo jumbo in the middle on the shorter chart, but just the 55, 57 has to stay because that's that gap that I believe we haven't finished yet or filled in. So that's what I'm thinking, everybody. Michael, thank you so much for the $10 donation. You guys are all so generous. I don't even know what to say some nights. I really don't. Humble, hey Tom, that wasn't addressed at you. It was addressed to one of the other guys that was on Zach Ractor's live stream. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to some. I know it wasn't directed at me, but I was trying to speak to that line of thinking, though. I appreciate that transparency and letting me know. And that was addressed in one of the other guys that was on Zach Ractor's live stream. Appreciate that. And I thank you for the $4.99 donation and saying you love my live streams. I love the live streams too. I've come to grow into a set of a platform here. And I love coming on in the morning when I first wake up. And then coming on at noon for the short. Today I came on twice in the morning. And I don't even know how to thank all of you. The video from the second video I put up today has 4,000 views. That's pretty incredible. Colin, you love Zach Rector and his sponsors. Well, I mean, you know, I can't help, that's what I'm saying, like, I don't do sponsors on this channel, so I just do it all transparently so that nobody has to sit through the BS. But anyhow, all the props to Zach, and that you guys enjoy him. But let's continue on with the discussion. I embrace everybody who's making some kind of footprint here. I just wish more and more people would do it in more of the transparent way and not to get ahead with money. So let's see. I love that you guys love the positive attitude. I really do. We have 147 people in here, 120 likes. We're doing a phenomenal job. So XRP's given us this signal. We know this signal's been built in since 2018 in January. If this doesn't break, we should be coming up to this resistance, assuming we don't lose 63.33. And I'll go back to that chart after the rising channel support. Now that was resistance. We hit it on a daily time frame. And now we're going to try to close above that. So as long as we don't lose 63.33, this could be a formality for a liquidity grab. And then we'll come up here anyhow. But just remember that in the back of your head as we talk. This rising channel resistance, for somebody who has to go through it real quickly. A quick recap, Isaac. Very easy here. What happened was XRP in the daily time frame showed a bull flag, but yesterday or early today it started turning into what looked like a long leg doji, but now it doesn't quite look like that. It kind of looks like it's trying to put some top end pressure, but just doesn't have enough within. But we held the 633, so what it looks like to me is we came down for a liquidity grab, filled this little gap within here. And the most important part of this drop is we had not retested the breakout point of this rising channel. Every time we came back above it, we came back through. Now, at least through this daily candle, we're not going to lose the daily. So at least we came back down to that 63 cents, we could call it. 633 is where I'm comfortable. That we came back down there, retested it, and we're able to pull on. But we're not going to know until this daily candle's up. We're at 6676, only a 2.87% loss. We were down over 7% earlier. So we ate back most of those losses. Now the question is, Were we able to get back over 68? No. We stayed bottom side. So that means this candle is going to open somewhere around where my X is at. So you could have a slight bearish start to this candle, and then it starts out again. Does this have a continuation, or is this, as somebody spoke out to earlier, and I'm very proud of who said this, they talked about what looked like it was forming a nice cup and handle, and if you look at this cup has already been filled, this first layer. You need to put the bullish handle. If it does it on the rising channel support, which it hasn't been able to break over and hold this since June of 22, this will give you all the clarity you need to at least make a rebound rally back up here, and you should break that area and then move up to 85. That's if you hold this and do this properly. If it breaks below this, you use 633 as a resistance, you're coming back down to that 52 to 55 cent area, and I don't really see anything to stop it. I know there's 57, I know there's 58.6, I know there's some small levels, but there's a gap, an overwhelmingly glaring gap down there, and that's the other signal we're being shown. So there's a signal. It's a secret signal. You'd have to go back to 2017 to understand that this pattern has a ceiling right now at 85 cents, and the floor, with the same logic, the floor right now is about 37 cents. So right now, or 36. So you're converging between 36 cent floor and 85 cent ceiling. What cracks first? What cracks first? We've been doing this for 7 years. So when somebody asks me, are we in a bull market or bear market? We're in a bear market rally till otherwise noted. We would not only have to break 85 cents, we would also have to get up and over $1.13 to start pushing back up and clear some of that, 55, 60% retracement now. That's where I'm looking at. So 85 cent first layer, $1.13 to really get me excited if we hold that support. Now I can make you all a little excited. If XRP were to get on top of here where we project it out, and it's right around December, sometime in December, you could have a technical breakout if everything went right and the best case scenario played out from a 6.5, 7-year convergence within a pattern. You could have a parabolic spike here to about $2.10. That's the measured move from the diameter of this formation. And I know it's a big move and it's not going to happen at once, but that could be what happens in 24. But that's about a 35% chance that can play out. And the reason why is there's a 65% chance this pattern's going to play true and continue to be rejected at 85 cents. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news if it comes up there, but that's just the reality, and I'm not going to lie to everybody. Does that make sense going into the daily close now? Yes or no? Well, I guess something's making sense. 168 people. See, I didn't think we were going to have as many people in here tonight, everybody. If you're looking for a real-world sponsor, look no further than this community and Tom's Army. Yes! CJ2 Pilot, that is spot on. That is my sponsor, Tom's Army. Tom's Army, the members who pay it forward for $9.99 without getting anything over the top. There's nothing you get over the top. It's just I put out everything for free, and some people like to pay it forward, the ones who you see the emoji badges, and that is my sponsor. This show is sponsored by Tom's Army. That's duly noted. Tom's Army allowed me to buy this tablet in early 22 when I was on my phone in 21. Because I put everything that I was getting in the beginning back into, well, I always put it back in a way. But I put it into the technology so you would have a great viewing experience. It allowed me to be able to buy an $1,100 tablet, brand new, and actually put it to good use. Because on the phone, you couldn't give this kind of information. You could, but it was harder to see. So now I reserve the phone for the TA in 60 seconds when I don't show a chart. So now we have the daily candle close. This is exactly what we talked about. Now, do we have that big pull down? Because this volume, that doesn't reek at you that this was overly bearish. We had 66 million in the daily, but the break up candle was 110. Even this little consolidator, it's about the same. Now this is the big key. Can we gain some top? Can we garner some topside pressure? And if this were to pull up here, what kind of pattern formation are we actually looking at? Well, if we bring it down in the 2-hour time frame, what it's telling us right now is we would have to come up and not get rejected at 6, 7, 8. So what I'd be looking for here is a likely retest of that 20-day in the 2-hour. And then we can even break it down into smaller time segments. 30-minute, first chance, we have a death cross, first chance to get past it. We'd have to get past 6, 7, 4. But this death cross is a signal. It could be a lagging indicator, and it could be a trap. It could be a fake out. But if this plays true, this is the first signal that we're starting to become bearish in the zone. Notice the death cross is close in the 45. It's not the overall end all be all, because as I always say, the 2-hour time frame until you give up the 200 day, this is all just corrective. And this very well could be corrective. And one more thing I want to point out, just look at the way XRP set up. Take a moment to let your eyes take a look at this formation. Look at this. Now let's take a look at Ethereum, what it did after a better than 11% move today and got over 2,100. Ethereum Classic better than 11% move today, getting over 21 bucks. What does this look like to everybody? Before this pull up from here, does that look familiar? And what I'm pointing out is this. Then we had this, and it came up. Well, now it's pulled all the way through here. Like if I'm looking at this, and we came through here and pulled up, we're basically come back to the top now. This is basically topping. I mean, XRP, if you're looking at it being delayed, you've had this swing, but you haven't had the tug. You know, even if it only comes up here, I still think there's a good chance at 85 cents. Even with everything that's happened today, unless 633 breaks, like I always say, I reserve the right to correct this because I'm not making predictions. We're just making assumptions based on the formation in front of us and the pattern that we've correctly identified over and over and over. Now, just because you correctly identify the pattern, it doesn't mean you correctly identify the manipulation within the wave. Diamond, Tom never sleeps. Diligence on demand. Tom's Army always there when it matters. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. That's such a big compliment. You have no idea. That's such a big compliment. I pride myself on being here. And not only the good times like this morning when it looked like we were going to have a nice little move, but we were cautious to where I had to come back 2 hours later and talk about the unfortunateness of XRP holders, you know, losing hope a little bit. Terry says, Tom has never dumped on me for my opposing views at times, and I never will. That's one of the greatest things I've learned over the 3 years being on YouTube Plus. In the beginning, I was overly critical when somebody had an opposing view. In 2023, I worked very hard to look at it openly and see exactly where someone's coming from. As long as they're not giving me open bullshit from somebody else and it's their own views, that's what I like. I like when somebody has an opposing views, but it's their view. I don't like when somebody gives me an opposing view and says, this person said it. Then it's not your view. They manipulated you more than my own words. And that means I didn't do good enough. With Bitcoin, we talked a lot about XRP. Does that nail it to the wall for XRP? That was a 33-minute breakdown, and I could not be more proud of that breakdown. XLM, I mean, look at these massive pullbacks. Look at what XLM did. I mean, you want to talk about a liquidity grab and a liquidation of not just longs but shorts alike? Look what XLM did. You want to talk about manipulation at its finest? Nobody can convince me that XLM went down within one candle 15%, and in the same candle pulled back up 10% and it wasn't manipulated. There's not one person in this chat room that can convince me otherwise. No matter what you say, nothing can convince me that's not manipulation. Because now it looks like it very well could be forming some kind of a bull setup here. I mean, it got back on top of a technical breakout point and got its liquidity flush. I mean, that reeks. Remember the dump we talked about from here? We were thinking we might have skipped it and we're only going to come down here. It came down here anyhow and dumped like we were talking about here before the move. So whether it did it here where we thought, or it does it when it was a little over the top, the point is this move, they still did it to us. This was the manipulated flush down we were talking about. They waited till it went higher and then did the flush anyhow. It's amazing. The deal with BlackRock and Ethereum, they're all shaking hands behind the scenes, sir. They're all shaking hands behind the scenes. And when you're on the right side of the government, like Ethereum is and William Hinman, you get these massive push outs like this because now everybody thinks there's going to be an Ethereum ETF, a Bitcoin ETF in the near short term. Everybody thinks now that it's just a foregone conclusion that everything's only going to push into those two primal forces within crypto. Me personally, I would put all my money every day, twice on Sunday, and 4 times every day. I would put 4 times what I own every single day on the ISO tokens and the Internet of Things tokens And if anybody doesn't know, our portfolio consists of XRP, XLM, XDC at the exact same ratio, 10,000 tokens or more, but the same ratio, not price ratio. 10,000 HBAR, we did this on Winning Wednesdays and FOMO Fridays. 10,000 Casper, 10,000, what else do we have? 10,000. We have 7,800 Algo. We have 22,222 VeChain and ZIL. And we're up 80 to 100% on almost everything we own, except some of the stuff we just bought a few months ago when it was down at its lows. We have, let's see, we have ZIL, VeChain, we have I have 72,222 DGB. We've got 5,000 Quorum and Solo. We've got 10,000 Gala. I don't know if there's anything I'm missing, but XDC, I know we talked about. We've got a lot of stuff. But it's all, and I would rather have all of this for the next chapter. Think about it this way. Remember the tech boom in the early 2000s, if you were around? I was young back then. I was like 16, 15, 14 when it was happening, late 90s. And remember, everybody thought those people were foolish too, dumping into IBM, dumping into NVIDIA, dumping into AMD. Atheon. A lot of people thought that those were foolish moves, dumping into Dell, Microsoft, IBM. I mean, think about it. People thought they were foolish. People were wasting their money. It's no different now for the digital era that's already been admitted by the government with their digital tokens and digitization of the dollar and your native currency. This is no different than getting out ahead of a new technology or a new way of payment. This is a new payment structure. Remember, the ISO is a new form of coding, new form of HTML. That will see SWIFT. It would be pointless. But again, it's the optics. SWIFT advanced itself with the SWIFT GPI, which now makes it transparent with the ISO framework, which means it's not obsolete like most would want you to think. But SWIFT is going to end up needing help, and I guarantee it with the ODL of Ripple to be able to push that kind of liquidity around that quickly. SWIFT cannot do it with the GPI. It's just not, it's not doable. We've talked about it in the past. It's not economically smart. So at a time, it's going to happen. XDC right now, and this is where we go through the little bit of crypto as we start winding down here a little bit. I appreciate 141 people sticking out, 148 likes now. That's incredible. But as you can see, the rotation might be coming for a retest. It didn't do it here with XDC where we thought it could do this and get away with it. We were hoping, because you want to retest the breakout point. Now we came up here, looks like a bear flag's being put in. Looks like within due time, if we can't come back up and break over 548, it might have already put this into where we got to come to the 200 and maybe further. We've got to invalidate this M-topping reversal now in all of these structures. And then DGB, because I don't have time to go around every little thing. But DGB, we talked about coming up to 807. And look what DGB did. It came all the way up here. And again, you cannot convince me this isn't manipulation. It's not just one chart. It's them all. DGB down 11% on the tug. And now within, 6-7 hours later, now all of a sudden it's up. From where it even started, you've at least got a 1.2% gain after an 11% liquidity drop. You can't convince me this isn't manipulated. Exactly, CJ2. That is such a great statistic. I mean, there's no, and a lot of people will argue it. There's really no way to argue it. There's not. H-bar for Tanya, because it's doing what we talked about. Now it's a matter of we had to push up, and it's taking Route 1. You got to come back here and hold support, which we're trying to do. And if you hold 573 and it doesn't give way, you can have wicks. And it almost came down here to retest that again. Remember, that was our pivot level. It didn't quite come there yet. It did once, broke out, then tried to come, but now pulled up. We're still within this perfectly. We're going to have a nice close still. But these liquidity candles, do you think they happen because we're going to dump now? Or do you think there's something bigger coming when we look at something like Bitcoin? Still was up a couple percent. Still up at 36,661. And for the ones who say technical analysis doesn't matter, because I know you're in here because I see your names, I'll just leave you with this real quick. If technical analysis doesn't matter and it doesn't work, how were we able to identify this broadening wedge way early on when everybody said it was a bull flag? Resistance, supports in the daily. And then we were able to have a technical target before it ever dropped down to 25,194, which it held. Then we had a technical target on the break back up when it came back to the top of the broadening wedge. You all remember this before it played out. The technical target was 37,863. Well, if technical analysis doesn't matter, how do we front run that entire move the entire time? That's all I want to know. You know, it might not go the exact way you think, but as long as you know the technical moves when it gets there, you don't need to be a pattern predictor. You don't need to be a predictor of the move. You need to be a predictor of the pattern and the possibilities. Yes, the Lewis lines are very important. Lewis was very famous in this community. I know a lot of you probably don't know about Lewis, but we called it the Lewis lines back in 21. I might have had a little more of a rage issue back then. I might not have been as content in what I do or as positive. After all, I was doing it for historical evidence or data, so somebody in the future couldn't say, hey, Tom, why didn't you tell us this in 21? You know, I'm speaking in 27 or 28 when everything pops. And I was just simply going to say, well, I did a channel on YouTube and nobody watched. You know, I at least put the information out, but very quickly I found out that wasn't going to be the case. My first video got like 13,000 views. It took a while, but I got 1,000 subscribers on one video. You know, after like 3 months of that video being, I wouldn't even have to do another video. And, but it was fun just building into it. But this is where gaining an understanding of the proper formations, understanding what's happening in front of us, we can kind of see what's happening before it ever happens. And then if it takes the wrong course, we're going to know, hey, it broke too far, or hey, it pushed too far up. And now look at Ethereum. This isn't looking bearish. Does that daily look bearish to you, or is Ethereum getting ready to move again? So when we start talking about things like this, Ethereum very well could be playing up. It looks like it's got a very big cup and handle. It might come all the way up. We don't know. We don't know. And like with Ethereum, I can make you a nice chart. You know, I just didn't want to do it when I put it back on here until everybody was in here, so you can do it yourself. I want everybody to be able to do this themselves. So you watch me. I don't charge you because in the end, I hope that when you leave here day after day after day, eventually it'll set in that you can simply look at a chart and be like, you know what? There was one guy who tried to teach us. He didn't charge us, and at least he was being honest. So if you take it like this and you try to hit it, this is what you're looking at. So this is your bear flag, ascending triangle, whatever the hell you want to call it. We can make it like this because we have the evidence. We have the this actually needs to come down just a little bit farther. It's got to be it's got to be perfect to me. Otherwise, you get those micro fractions or the micro movements that you miss. So that's where we're at. So we came down here. We have the support. And we form support 1, support 2 in here. So let me write it out. So support 1, support 2, support 3 in the area, didn't come all the way down. We have resistance 1, resistance 2, resistance 3. So that's your resistance. If it breaks above this, it's very easy. We can diagnose the technical target just from the point that we decided. So we're using this drop. We could say it's from all the way up there, but I'm going to use this drop, and we're going to use this. That's the width. And we're going to use that. And I always call them the jank measurement because you don't need to be perfect. You don't want to overextend it. So if it breaks out here, your technical target is coming up here to about 3,000. Holy shit. I don't know how much they're willing to pump this into oblivion, but if that's the case, and I always like to clone it in case it breaks down, because like I said, I'm not trying to predict it. I want to know what it does either way. Now we'll come out here in case it plays true and then breaks down. And that would bring you down. Oh my. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. These are your technical signals right now, whether you break up or break down. If you play this pattern out true, that's a long pattern though. Look how far out that might take you, to 25. So, are we going to break out or what? Something's going on here. Something's going on here. It really is. So that's what I'm looking for. So we gotta see what's actually gonna happen. Terry said you were the first person to see the wedge on Bitcoin. 2 weeks later, some scratched their head and said, geez, there's a wedge. Yep. I remember that, Terry. Remember I was getting brutalized when there was only about 60 people watching the lives, because everybody really thought for those couple weeks that I was in it. Not everybody, the ones who are in here that stay committed knew I was right, or at least I was onto something. But I was getting criticized from left field because crypto was going down. It looked like Bitcoin had broke down, and I kept saying, no, unless we lose 25,191 or 194 and go down to 22,000 area, or what was it? the 34,000 area, I think it was. That was where it had to be. Jan, welcome in, love. And thank you for renewing to 23 months in Tom's Army. You're only 1 month away from getting that very lucrative 2-year badge. That's the 589 badge. Not XRP to $589 at the end of 23. No, 0.589 cents was more realistic. And I think you all realize now why being around 60 cents was a much more realistic expectation than 600 bucks. XRP follow Ethereum. That's what we're trying to figure out. But I wanted to update everybody on Ethereum so that you could see the formation that was set out in front of us. So now, that money will rotate. Yes, we have to be aware that if Bitcoin and Ethereum pump, that money will rotate to alts. They absolutely will once it hits the top. So right now, like even with Bitcoin, we're up to about, in the Bitcoin dominance, actually went down a little bit to 52.38. We came and retested support. We've retested that 52.29%, and we've got about a 68% chance that it'll bounce off of this and go to 57.3. But if it breaks this, we want to see this break. If you want altcoins to have a little alt season here, we want this to break and have a big breakdown with Bitcoin and allow alts to pump. You don't want the Bitcoin market cap to continue to dominate like this. I mean, it's come all the way up from the 38% roughly to 54%. Now it's at like 52.2. So it's gained some substance. And then in conclusion here, before I lose my voice, I think we've done a spectacular job. Anybody who wants to relax with some cannabis, I'm going to go check on my son real quick. Please come back and we'll finish this discussion in about 60 seconds. I want to go check on the kids real quick and go blow my nose, and then we'll relax together. But I want everybody in the comments to let me know, are we getting ready for the similar move Ethereum just made? Yes or no, between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Boss, welcome in from New Zealand. Sorry about that, everybody. Everything's good. I was just helping Julie real quick because she was trying to do a little vacuuming, so I moved some stuff real quick while I was inside. So, we've got 149 people that stuck it out here today. So, is there anything else that we want to look at with... this is going to be it's Kush. This is Kush. I grew it myself. For anybody who doesn't know, I showed it. Before I harvested it. I did it outside, just 2 plants, but I managed to get 11 ounces off of them. So I did 2 Kush plants, dried them out, and now I'm going to have that for a while. Let's see. So this is one other thing I wanted to talk to everybody about. The recap for XRP. I mean, you're going to have to go back to the beginning of this one. I did so much today, really. I did so much today for XRP, it would behoove you not to go back and watch it all. The quick recap is XRP had a nice liquidity flush. It never retested the rising channel breakout from June of 22, so it had to retest 63.3 cents. What do you think of SXP? I don't even know. What is XXP? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, unless I'm... Possible we're close. Need to see the top handle. Then, yep. Good to see another Kiwi in the house. We've got a lot of different people in the house. So this is something that I seen today. XRP futures now available on this major crypto exchange. And this is something they talked about today. So XRP perpetual future contracts have seen a new listing on one of the world's oldest crypto exchanges, Poloniex. In a tweet, Poloniex announced the listing of a USDT margin XRP perpetual contract. And as much as I don't like perpetual futures, I still like money being able to come into XRP by different avenues. I just prefer people not to lose it like that. Could be a catalyst for another run and then another liquidity dump. You are absolutely right about that, Terry. So the XRP perpetual futures is open for trading on Poloniex. The USDT margin perpetual contract will offer leverage of 1x to 20x, which I like that. I like that it only goes up to 20x because now they're not trying to overextend it on the exchange at least. They still are by doing 20x, but it's much better than having 250x leverage. XRP has continued to gain new listings after achieving regulatory clarity in a landmark July ruling in the Ripple lawsuit that determined that XRP sold on crypto exchanges were not securities. XRP, the price, started a major rally from the 47-cent level. Here, let me light the cannabis. Is there anybody who's going to be joining me today in cannabis? 148 people still in here, 175 likes. Wow. That is incredible. You have no idea how much you have helped this channel push through the analytics and allow more people to be involved in this beautiful community. I say the word beautiful because I believe we're kind-hearted. We have good hearts. We don't share the dark. We embrace the light. And we are really helpful in here. So I really do like it. Rob, you're going to join me. Heck yeah. Here, here, dilly, dilly. Terry says, could be a catalyst for another run. Yes, we did just talk about that. XSwap protocol, Uniswap. I got to read that. XSwap protocol, Uniswap for XDC. I'm going to have to look deeper into that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And then Julie came out here to take an honorary hit. Hey, thank you so much, G-Rock, for the $4.99 donation. Thanks for all the hard work. He says, oh, you're too generous. It always means the most to me when I see someone spending their hard-earned money because, trust me, I know just walking out of the door today, it costs you $50 to buy three different things now. It's like a mandatory $50 bill just to walk out the front door nowadays. That's what I was telling Julie earlier. Literally, it doesn't matter what you do. It's a $50. It's a $50.
Might as well just pay ourselves $50.
I love Flare. We bought 10,000 tokens of Flare when it was at 0083 or 85 and FOMO Fridays. And I like Songbird. I just need to be more diligent with it. I have not bought any, but I do like it. I like Songbird if that's the SGB you're talking about. So I think it's good for the, let's just say the meme side of town. So XRP price started a major rally from 47-cent level in October. Consequently, the bulls pumped the price above the 50 and 63-cent resistance levels. XRP surged shortly in line with the emergence of a bullish golden cross on its daily charts. And we know right now we still have intact an XRP golden cross in the weekly time frame. As long as we don't lose 633, that weekly golden cross and inverted hammer candle stays valid. So let's just remember that. So this weekly candle by no means is looking bearish yet. Excellent, All Flow. Excellent. You're smoking homegrown as well. That's what I like to hear. Because I don't want to get into it because I don't want to get banned, but there's a lot of chemicals being put into the ones in dispensaries now, and it's sad. I was getting sick smoking. I was getting a lot more headaches. And I had to do a comparison of my own homegrown, and I have not gotten a single headache since I started smoking this a month ago. And I have a lot more positive energy, a lot more wanting to work after I relax and I smoke the cannabis, and there's no down feeling. So this is definitely uplifting, and you can definitely tell the difference without chemicals, and it's a shame. If you're wondering why you get the $70 ounces, no, that's why instead of 400. It's a bitch. It's just the way it is. On November 6th, XRP broke beyond the 67-cent resistance, but the bulls were unable to break through the next barrier of 74 cents. At the time of writing, XRP was experienced profit taking, falling 85% or 0.85% in the last 24 hours to 684. As we know, it fell a little bit farther. It closed around 665. So we were off about 2.4% on the day. We gained back about 5% of our losses. We pared them back. We're down about just over 7% to start the day. About noon, 1 o'clock, and then we started pairing the losses. Cut it in half, 3/4. Tom, what's up, RHS? Not much, my friend. I'm blessed. Just enjoying the rest of this live. It's been great to be here for the last 55 minutes. We're going to wind down here in the next 5 minutes, but it's been fantastic. We're in casings, 5-gallon bucket with bubbler. What if, see, you know what you're talking about. That's beautiful. Rockin' XRB painter. Are you doing it more like hydroponics then if you're using the bubbler, or is that just for the worm casings at the bottom, or is that where you're actually letting the roots get the bubbling? If that's the case, the oxygen you're allowing to go in through the oh man. Dude, I noticed the difference too. Oh, Flo, thank you so much for saying that, because you said you just grew yours as well. So I'm not crazy. Like, I couldn't believe the difference I noticed. Like, it was insane. Like, I'm trying to figure out why I was feeling so messed up, and I don't take pills or anything like that, and I haven't for many, many years, even pain ones. I'd rather deal with the pain. So I couldn't figure it out, and I've been fasting for 9 months now, intermittent fasting. I don't eat 16 hours a day, only between 1 and 9, as you know. So when I started feeling that, I'm like, man, the fasting is allowing me to feel even deeper within my own body, and something wasn't right. And that's what wasn't right. Stop penning Tuesday. Yes. No. I encourage everybody not to vape or use a pen when they smoke their cannabis. I believe that that's very bad for you. I believe that that was introduced to us for a reason, and it was to give us what's called popcorn lung, something that's undiagnosed as the spider crawls across my screen again. How cool is that? What's up, buddy? I don't want to kill you. Hold on. We got a big spider that's crawling across my screen. I wish you guys could see it. Let me turn my light on. Where'd you go? Hey, you gotta get off of there, sir. You're gonna get killed. No. Don't jump over. Oh, good job. You guys don't even know, but I just saved that spider. He crawled underneath this little thing, and my tablet was about to break down. And, yeah, the spiders, because I'm outside, they see the screen. I'm in pitch black right now. See behind me? It's pitch black. The only reason you can see me is because my tablet hits me. But I embrace being outside more than most. So unless it gets super, super cold, I'm going to continue to be outside until probably December, hopefully. Ernie, thanks for the $4.99. I really appreciate that. That is unbelievably generous. Thank you so much, Ernie. We take you back 50 years, Terry. That's what we try to do here. That's what we're trying to. Boris the spider. Miss Vicky, thank you so much for tuning in right here at the end, unfortunately, but never too late. I encourage you to go back to the beginning of this one. This was probably the best live I've done all year. I say that sometimes, but the information I shared about XRP and just what we need to do and just some other things, this has been a phenomenal live. The fact that we still have 145 people still, and we're winding down, is incredible. That must just mean a lot of you are liking this content. And you know, it's a big compliment. I never thought this before, but I notice more people like it when I'm just sharing my charts and talking instead of sharing other people's stuff, even sharing what might be done by the Fed. I've noticed people leave and they come back when I'm talking. So that is the biggest compliment I could ever receive. You'd rather see me than somebody else. That means a lot to me. So despite the present profit taking, it appears that lower levels continue to attract buyers. If the price of XRP remains above 63 cents, the chances of a retest of 74 is advanced as well. And that's a beautiful level they've targeted at. That's that rising channel support. So I give them kudos for that. And 74 cents, I give them kudos for that as well. That's the pattern resistance, or the pattern resistance when we broke out. That was our swing high right now. So that's spot on, which now you can see why I use this article. Above this level, XRP might reach 85 cents and ultimately $1. Man, it's almost as if they're watching my chart. If the price falls between 63 cents, it would indicate that the bullish impetus might have diminished and XRP may fall to 60 cents. I mean, I can't say nothing wrong about this. Tommy Wobble, the cryptocurrency analyst and an experienced technical analyst, he pays close attention to cryptocurrency research and conducting comprehensive price analysis and exchanging predictions of estimated market trends. Tommy Wabold earned his degree at the University of Lagos. I don't often say this when I read an article, but I give this guy 2 thumbs up. Let's give a hand for Tommy Wabold. Only because he told the truth. You guys this man told the truth. Every level he nailed. So I thank this guy for validating what we're seeing and giving us the news about the XRP futures listed on Margin Crypto Exchange. You can find him on, let's give him some, on You Today. It's very rare for us to get some real information like that. So I appreciate that from that gentleman. And then other than that, everybody, that's it. Everybody, that's all I got. I'm sorry, my voice is, it's all but gone. I thank each and every one of you for tuning in. If you got anything out of this, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. We were just about 18,800 subscribers when I tuned in. We were 2 away when we went on the live. And I know it's incredible because we just hit 18,700 4 days ago. And we already went through the night. We had 95 subscribers the last 3 days, but something tells me we pushed it again. So I thank each and every one of you. If you're looking to pay it forward, to join Tom's Army, if you're looking to trade on crypto on an exchange that I use, whether it be MaxC or FMX, those 2 I give out only because the spot fees are cheaper. And I found it to be very, very, very advantageous for us to use those. And those are on the video description below. And then if you want to send a YouTube super chat, obviously don't do it now. Just hit that like button. You don't have to do it today. Today's time has been served. You've all done a beautiful job. There's no reason to send any more money or any reason to do anything else besides hit that like button, share this far and wide on social media. And I will see you tomorrow on the live because I appreciate doing this. And I thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly love this. One last thing. KB says, my dad grows and does it all organically, then makes RS. That's my favorite shit, the Rick Sampson oil. Hey, my friend, your dad does it. I do. I was just about to tell you. I do. I need the recipe. In fact, I'm gonna put my email in here. Feel free to email me so you can get in touch with me. Here, let me go to my phone real quick. Let me get this live up. But yeah, I take it, but I had to stop using it because I noticed that one place was putting something that didn't seem right in it because I could feel the chemicals. The Drew stuff I got a couple times was unbelievable. And I tried to convince my aunt to take it because she's going through her stuff and yada, yada, yada. But, you know, most people won't listen to me with that kind of stuff. But yeah, please send me an email. KB, send me an email at strutregali@gmail.com. That's me on the bottom, XRP Future Millionaire. I just shared that. So feel free to send me an email and let me know some further details. You know, and kudos to your dad because that is not an easy process. Kudos. Everybody, I'll be back later. I thank you all, but I got to go do some dad stuff now. Thank you so much, everybody, for blessing me more than you'll ever know. And remember, the way we treat each other is the biggest indictment on humanity. I make my own of that, Andy. And it's very easy to do. You take 100 proof of vodka. Yeah, it's got to be 100 proof of vodka. You find a black walnut. You have to take the green shell off. Take the walnut out. You put the green shell inside that 100 proof. You shake it every single day for 6 to 8 weeks and you have black iodine. I'm doing it right now. I can show everybody when it gets done and then you put tinctures. I have to buy the tinctures and then you take so many drops a day. But I do that myself. So first year I'm doing that. I learned how to do it. Went and hunted for the trees. Found one. And we are where we are. Stay blessed, everybody. Have a great one. God, I love this audience. Such a beautiful audience, and you all